So just to give a little introduction, because I know so many on the call know me from different capacities. I am a longtime Ashtanga teacher and practitioner. I have over 2 decades of practice and teaching, but that's kind of part of what I do. I'm also a certified life coach, and I also have certifications in trauma sensitive yoga teaching and mindfulness, and as well as children's yoga and chair yoga and so many things in this space. And so I come to goal setting and planning with a trauma sensitivity approach and from a space of acceptance. And so I know many of you are probably here for different reasons, maybe just to say hi. So I haven't seen some of you in a while, which really makes me feel good. I'm also going through what you're all going through, just to open in my vulnerability and maybe encourage the same on this call. I closed my brick and mortar yoga studio in 2020. That was my baby, my first baby that I opened by myself at the age of 30. I kept it online for about a year after in order to hit the 10-year mark, which I was so close to. And I had something around really having 10 years. And have since stopped really teaching regular daily classes online. This is the first time that I haven't been teaching daily yoga in over a decade, well over a decade. So there's a lot of space right now that I'm used to filling, and I'm actually resisting filling in order to open up to what's next and call in what's next, which is a lot more of counseling, coaching, and really working in the trauma sensitive space, and coaching teachers. And also I have just completed my manuscript for a trauma sensitive yoga teaching guide for yoga teachers that'll be out for Shambhala in 2023. So that was another thing, finishing that has created a lot of space. And I'm seeing is that gives me the capacity to offer some free workshops where, normally that would be hard to give an hour of free time. So I feel like I have generous heart and spirit right now and a lot of capacity. And that's something that I check into. And you might want to just think about in your body before, I give. It's like, where is that bucket? Am I full? Am I resourced? Because when we give without that, actually can turn around and have a kind of negative consequence on ourselves, but also on those that we're trying to give to if we hold any resentments. So let's just take a minute to come into the space, to ground into our bodies. If it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. If that's not comfortable for you, a soft gaze is just fine. And just using this time to feel your body in this space. So just noticing the weight of your presence. See if you can feel in any ways that you might be holding yourself up that are unnecessary. Maybe you can accept a little more support from the floor or the couch or the chair. You might imagine the sand settling or an anchor dropping. And only once that fully drops and grounds, then perhaps there's a lifting of the spine and opening under the armpits. And if you feel like in lifting, you've lost your groundedness. Just go back down into grounding and feel that tension growing upward and rooting downward all at the same time. You might notice the back of your body, just having awareness of everything behind you. And there's a support there too, the support of your past studies, the support of your ancestors, of your guides, of all that came before you. And you can hold that awareness as you bring attention to the front of the body, just feeling the air on the skin, and the space in front of you, the mystery, the longing, maybe the gap between where you are and where you want to be or where you're headed. All is present. And see if you can hold all the space, top to bottom, front to back. And just bring to your mind why you're here today. One thing you're hoping to learn or to step into or to receive. Knowing that on one end it's a process, growth is a process. And paradoxically, we can step into so much just with one step. That's when we're ready to ask and we open to receiving. Maybe as you conjure up what you want to receive or where you want to be in the coming year, sometimes there's a friction or a gap or space between where we are now and where we want to be. And the instinct, the urge is to try to move away from that uncomfortable feeling or that space between. And see if you can be with those feelings. So instead of covering it up or filling that space, just sitting with it. What's uncomfortable? What's not working right now? What's challenging? Allow those feelings to be here in the room. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to skip what's happening. Those feelings give us lots of information. In some ways, they're our teacher. Just being with for a moment, maybe with what's not working. Instead of running from those vibrations, can you send them a little bit of compassion? That's tough. Maybe it's a hand on the heart. And choose words that work for you. Maybe saying something like, I'm really sorry that you're going through that. Can't find the right words. Maybe it's the words you would say to a friend. And remembering that you're not alone. You- None of us know. Many of us are searching. We can lean on each other. We don't have to know it all. And then bring to mind, instead of where you want to be at the end of the year, how you want to be. How? How would you like to be and operate in the next year? Knowing that that's something we have a say in. Maybe a word comes to mind. How I want to operate with strength, with ease. How do I want to move through the world? How do I want to be in relationship? Pick a word that resonates and try to feel the feeling of it in your whole body. And then maybe bringing to mind a bit of where you're headed, something you want to accomplish this year. That goal could be spiritual, that goal could be financial, educational, and infuse it with feeling. Who will you be? How will you be? Having stepped into that space, having received that vision. And what of that person can you infuse in you today as if it's already happened? When you're ready, I'm just going to ask you to gently open the eyes if they're not open. And just write down anything that came to mind. If you don't have your paper or journal with you, just slip off to get something to write with. Any insights, any feelings, that you were able to hear everything. Just gonna do a quick share screen just to kind of quick review of some of the things that we talked about. Just to leave you with a little bit of a strategy moving forward. So obviously this was just a 1 hour that's both that grand big step that can bring everything towards us and just an hour. Life is a practice, and with growth and self-acceptance um, and manifestation and all these healing, these are like physical fitness. It's not like something you do and arrive at and it's done. It's something that takes constant um, ongoing nourishment, right? You can put some workouts in the bank, but like eventually if you sit down too long you have to get up again. So it's ongoing process. One of the most important things that we spoke about today is accepting of the feelings that are happening and the situation that's happening, and as a first step before trying to run away with it from it or go to the next thing in life. It's like the road is really through what's happening now. So daring to be in those feelings and have compassion for yourself like you would your child or your friend. Like when it feels rough, like don't add on to it by being mad that it feels rough, right? Like this feels rough right now. This is hard. And also, I can do hard things, and other people are doing hard things, and I'm not the only one facing this right now. So all those things come into it. Um, Instead of being so goal focused, so it's great to have a goal and a vision for ourselves in 10 or 12 months or 2 years. um, I encourage you to think about your how, because the how is something we can embrace immediately. How I want to be in relationship, how I want to move towards my goals, right? And maybe find one word that encompasses that you can really drop into as a feeling. Um, for me, I'm really working on gentleness. Just develop. I have a lot of passion and I have a lot of strength, but and I have a lot of gentleness, but sometimes it doesn't come forward. So personally, um, I'm just really, really stepping deeper and deeper into that gentleness. Um, Interrupting and forming new habits. We talked a little bit about this. I could go on in a whole hour-long workshop just on this, but we talked about, make it easy, make it hard not to do, make it easy to do, to start something. Or if you don't want to do something, the opposite, make it hard to do it. There are other things as well. We'll have to save that for another workshop. 5-minute rule, 5 minutes at night to plan your next day and to really think about what that 1 year or long-term goal is, have it fresh in your mind, and make sure it's scheduled into your next day, whether that's for 2 minutes or you devote 2 hours. But every day you should touch upon your bigger goal, even if it's just reading something about it or imagining yourself having received it. Okay, it should be in your everyday life. Staying motivated, keeping the end in mind. Some people are motivated through positive feelings, how good I'm going to feel when I've really achieved this or stepped into this. And some people are motivated by how rough things will be when they stay the same. So you can kind of meditate on both. Some of us are motivated by running away from something, which is no longer good. And some of us are motivated by running to something. So both kinds of motivation can be helpful. And we are never alone. We are everything that we do, is in community. So using each other, using me, using your resources, finding like-minded community will help you stay motivated, whether it's a buddy, accountability buddy or a group. I do run coaching groups. I didn't put one on schedule for the new year. I'm not even really sure why. But if you wanted to do a small group coaching, it's a more affordable way to get coaching. Group coaching is nice because you can hear other people get coached, and it's always, almost always relevant. One-on-one is nice too. Obviously, you go deeper and longer on yours. So whatever, if you're interested in group coaching, let me know. If we can get 5, I'll form a group. If you're interested in one-on-one, continuing working with me, that's also possible. One way to go really deep is go on retreat. A retreat is a chance to break away from your habits and routines and really, really develop new ones. So I have 2 retreats coming up, one in spring, one in summer. They both have daily asana practice, meditation, mindfulness practice, outdoor immersion. They're really intense, and they will definitely give you the motivation to and the kind of jump up with your practice for a year to come. If you're a teacher, which I guess you are a yoga teacher, April, you might consider getting trained in trauma sensitivity. We have 2 trainings coming up, one general one and one specifically on trauma-informed yoga teaching for youth and teens. Here's my coaching website, lauraland.us. So you're probably more all familiar with the landyoga.com, but this has a lot of my coaching and speaking. And if you want to use my Bliss book, which I use to do my year-long planning, I'm offering special of 20% off for those who attended this, and with the code best year yet, and you can order that off of lauraland.us. I'll put that also in the chat. And the book is great because it comes with an automated coaching program. So every other week you'll get a little tip from me on how to stay focused on your goals. So I'll just give you that slate. Okay. Oh, thank you. Moon joined late. Oh, great. Some people that I haven't seen in a long time from my yoga studio days. So, I felt lonely too and missed my community. So that's meant a lot to me. So I hope that you'll stay in touch and consider working together in one way or another. If not, I still love to hear from you. I'm still a resource for you. I'm always posting free tips on my Instagram. That's where I'm most active. I want to thank you so much for your openness and for being here today, for giving me a place to share my work. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you.